Hi everybody and welcome back to the Paperless Movement YouTube channel. I'm Tom Solid and today we will talk about Obsidian. I actually know about such tools already because I'm using Roam Research for my note-taking in meetings. I have a little experiment running there where I was looking for if it is actually helping me to improve note-taking when I use such tools. And when you're using Roam Research, you also come across Obsidian, and obviously I have to look into this. The very interesting thing here is that Obsidian saves all the files locally. So this means you can open these files in any Markdown application that is able to read this. And that's really interesting and also gives a lot of security. Something I don't like about Roam Research is really the way to handle this. All the formatting we have to do in there. And you know, if you're a developer, you're really into this stuff. I'm sure a lot of people geek out about Roam Research. I feel there's a high friction when it's coming to taking note, especially adding rich content. I'm really looking forward to see how Obsidian will perform there. And then let's see if I switch from Roam to Obsidian. As usual, this video is sponsored by you, my Inner Circle members. I'm really glad for your consistent support. Thanks for joining and being back on this video here. If you don't know what my Inner Circle membership is all about, in this membership I teach you the iCore framework, a framework that helps you to set up your productivity system end to end and make it highly efficient. So you will know exactly where to place your tools in your productivity system, not looking for the next shiny object, not looking for recommendations of somebody else, but finding the tools that work for you the best and understand actually how your productivity system works. This is what the membership is all about. And if you just want to dive into this for free, you just go over to my website paperlessmovement.com, and there you can sign up to the free email course and also the iCore guide that will allow you to ignite your productivity within the next 5 days. So if you're on the fence, you always wanted to learn more about the iCore framework, this is now the option for you. See all the details in the description below. But now without further ado, let's have a look at Obsidian. And when we're on the website from Obsidian, you see here that it's available for Windows, Linux, and more platforms. So also for Mac OS, that's the version I downloaded now. They are also working on mobile apps. That's something great because usually for me, I want to access my notes or information on any device I want, but also we want to be able to capture my information on any device I want. So I understand that Obsidian works with any Markdown application. So I could install any Markdown application on my iPhone and open up my Obsidian files. But if I'm not able to create new content on my iPhone, for example, to quickly capture information, that's already a bit of a downside. However, looking at Roam Research, this thing that I use right now, it's not much better. You have access to your application, but it is also very limited. So now I can pick the folder that I need for Obsidian where it saves the files, and you see it's still in beta and a fairly young beta, if I may say. Here I can open up the folder now where I want this to be saved, and I'm using my iCloud folder, and I created already a folder called Obsidian Files. I will take this, and now all the files that I create or notes will be saved there. Let's go here, and that's it. Let's see how this works. Open Quick Switcher, open Graph View, open Markdown Importer. All right, I imported the Roam Research files, and this is fine. I mean, this worked very well. Everything is in here. Obviously, these are empty pages because I started mentioning, but it didn't add anything. But if you go, for example, to the map, you see the connections happened actually. And it builds up this cloud here where we see the most used things. And I could go to YouTube and add a tag. Is that correct? Yes, it adds a tag this way. And now when I go here and I use this search for a tag, it becomes red. I like that. I can colorize that. I can change the node size. So compared to Roam Research, I have the feeling I have a lot more features here. Oh, I can see even the arrows where it's going to from. But what I wonder now when I go here, for example, and I go to preview, here is the backlinks. Because when we go back to Rome and there we see the references and then we have this filter. And this is really the powerful thing that I can now say for the backlinks, okay, show me everything related to knowledge management. And I see all these backlinks appearing. Clicking onto this and combining the different backlinks this way, it's much easier to find information this way. So here I see I have 6 backlinks and I can go on the side when I click down here. I click here, it jumps there. So that's a bit confusing, I would say. Okay, so there's no embedding of videos either. So as you can see, Ali Abdal's video is not showing up this way. Now I understand the backlinks at least. So it seems it works. When I click on December, it jumps there. I can go back. I can go to this and it will jump here. I click here. Now it's working. I see also now the image. So let's see where this image is saved. Okay, it would be interesting. Whenever I add a new image, let's add some random image here. GIF animation, for example. Okay. I have to go to editing mode. Now let's add this here. Now we added the GIF. We go back and we see that the GIF animation actually works. That's great. Let's see if we can add PDFs. So I added a PDF here. When I go to mark to preview, now we see the PDF and the GIF animation is working. I really like the fact that it looks very clean then when we are back here. So about collapsing, it's not possible to collapse the different parts, which is actually possible in Rome Research. So I really prefer this. And what really worries me is the way backlinks work. As I said, there is no proper filter for the backlinks. So if I would say, okay, I have iCore here, but I want to filter it by knowledge management, for example, we can go to more context. Then we have more context, but again, there is no filter. Maybe I'm missing something. If you know the reason why this is or what I have overseen here, make sure that you go to the comments below and let me know about this. Looking at the graph, yes, we can go to Rome Research, obviously, and also go to the graph overview. It's much faster in Obsidian to load this, and I think it's also more fluent to look at. See how clunky this is? And that's the only way I can visualize this. And we have a lot more options in Obsidian, you know, to make the lines thicker and so on. I really like the style in Obsidian more. But as I said, that's the first look. Yeah. So when I hover over this, that I can make groups and it will have the same color. So whenever I go, for example, here and I add the tag, and I go to graph, I have now these 2 red dots and I really can make better visual connections here. This is not possible in Rome Research yet for the normal version. Maybe there are extensions that you could use. And as I said in the beginning as well, I like the fact that I can change the node size, so I'll always see where we have most things. So I can drag it around and bring it into a different position. I really like how this works. This is so much more fun using this graph, and it also makes more sense to me using the graph here compared to Rome Research. And on the outside we see all the single connections that are not connected yet. So it adds the files to the folder. So those are separated, and then it integrates the files into our system. So I like this, but we will end up with a lot of files down there. So I'm sure I can actually add a new folder, yeah. And then we drag these files into the new folder. Let's rename this folder. It's very intuitive to change the things. Call it files. And there we go. And when I ever add one more thing, let's just add this. Okay, it adds it down there again on and not into the folder. I think this should be possible to change. There we go. So whenever we make new attachments like files and so on, I can pick it here in subfolder under current folder, same folder as current file, the folder specified below. So here I could now pick the files folder, but I also like that there are so many other great options where we can put this. I like that. So I close this now. Now when I add something new, let's delete this. Let's see what happens when I delete this. Okay, when I delete a link or a file, it remains in the folder. So it is not deleted. So I have to delete it manually. This could fill up over time, but it's a minor thing. Now let's see how this looks. There we go. And it added the file here into the files folder. So now everything is cleaned up. Yeah, I really like the way how it handles this. And then when I go now to the Finder and I go into the folder, the Obsidian files folder, we see here now exactly the same reflected. We have files here and we have files here. I go in here, we have the files there. So I really like that because it seems that I also would be able then to add bigger content. Usually it doesn't allow to upload long form videos and so on Roam Research, but and Notion and so on. We have a limit, but in this case, let's see, I can bring it in here and let's try to drag it in this way. And there we go, there's the video. That's awesome. I really like that. You know, if you go to Roam Research, it would upload it to the cloud, and obviously it wouldn't stay locally. See, it's rejected because it's bigger than 100 megabytes. This is actually 1 gigabyte, and all it did, it actually copied it into this folder. See here, when we go in here, we have it here. The only thing is the filtering for the backlinks. I mean, the fact that I have proper tags here, let's see. I can search for a tag, for the tags. But let's search for something else, iCore. So it shows me this up. I can click here, I can jump around. So I really like this. All right, everybody, I'm really impressed with what Obsidian has to offer. The fact that I can save all my files, notes, everything locally and then just sync it with whatever cloud service I wanted to sync is awesome. I have full control over my files. This makes it very interesting for people working in companies where you're not allowed to use cloud services and so on, and you're very restricted to the things that you have to store your information locally. Obsidian, I think, is a great solution for this because the data remains yours. Also, the fact that I can now select a specific folder for my file. So I could pick now my Dropbox folders. So I have direct access to these files and include it into my notes. I avoid duplicating information in files this way. This is really something awesome. If you're looking for a note-taking app that allows you backlinks and understanding the bigger picture of your notes, where backlinks come into play and the graphs that I showed you, then Obsidian is certainly a great solution. This was a first look. I was using Roam Research much more than I was using Obsidian. This was the first look, as I said. So for this reason, I have to dig a bit deeper into Obsidian, and I certainly will, because this looks really promising. The only downside for me is really that we don't have access to Obsidian from all the devices right now, for example iPhone and so on, but let's see how this will change in the future. It is in beta. It's not a completed version. It's not fully released, and I think it already can compete with Roam Research. I also saw that we can change themes there. We have extensions that we can use in Obsidian, so there's so much to discover. So if you don't want to miss out on other updates and information about Obsidian and other productivity tools, make sure that you subscribe to this channel, and if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends, and I'll catch you up next time.